From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Ayotunde Balogun.
Hello and welcome tonight. Head of the Civil Service, Didi Walson-Jack, accepts responsibility for failing to properly verify documents linked to the controversial Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council. Sultan of Sokoto Livestock Minister urged responsible pastoralism, reject ethnic profiling of herders, and demand individual accountability to ease farmer-herder tensions. Amnesty alleges Shell documents expose Niger Delta pollution risks and costly cleanup concerns, while Shell insists it operates with integrity, transparency, and respect for communities. And President Trump threatens retaliation after U.S. military intercepts alleged Iranian attack on American forces, ending a brief period of calm in the Middle East. On sports news tonight, FIFA President Gianni Infantino defends the proposed launch of a private subsidiary to exploit the commercial benefits of the World Cup as an opportunity, but not an obligation.
In our business news, Customs begins implementing new fiscal policy measures and tariff amendments to boost trade and revenue generation.
From the nation's capital, WTO Chief Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala urges African leaders to fund artificial intelligence, clean energy and mineral supply chains as Africa's economic buffer.
We begin from the National Assembly. And as questions keep getting asked on how the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council slipped through the cracks to be established without even being detected, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Walson-Jack, has accepted responsibility for her office's failure to thoroughly verify documents linked to the controversial agency, admitting that due diligence was not sufficiently carried out before official actions were taken. Mrs. Walson-Jack made the admission during her second appearance before the House of Representatives ad hoc committee investigating the alleged operation of the council. Our correspondent, Benny Ark, reports.
Purported letter of appointment. Yes.
The House of Representatives ad hoc committee investigating the alleged operations of the controversial Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council continued its investigation, with the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Walson-Jack, making a second appearance.
If I may understand clearly,
the committee is seeking to establish how the controversial council obtained official recognition using documents now believed to be fraudulent.
A request for administrative court.
During a final statement before the committee, lawmakers questioned the head of the civil service on the verification process that led to the acceptance of the purported letters of appointment and establishment document. She was taken through official correspondence from the office of the chief of staff to the president and asked to compare them with the documents presented by the controversial council.
Having seen all the facts and observed all the documents, concede that we ought to have carried out more due diligence in the discharge of the duties of the office in issuing an authorized establishment and a recruitment waiver to the PEAC/PFICP.
The head of civil service told the committee that subsequent reviews, including comparisons with genuine State House correspondence and findings, showed that the signatures on the document were different from authentic records.
In your speech now, because I was taking note,
yes,
due diligence was not observed.
Now that you
have seen, what did you see that is in error that due diligence was? Because this should be a little bit interactive. This is your second time of appearance. Third time, because another person had appeared for you.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is it that due diligence was?
Yes, what we now saw, when this matter now came up, I requested to see the documents myself. And I saw that the Establishment Act was not really an authentic act. Thank you. I saw that because, Mr. Chairman, I have almost 30 years of legal practice experience. And so immediately I saw it, I knew it was not. Moreover, Mr. Chairman, I'm also a certified legal drafter.
So the act was not original, it was fake.
Yes, I noticed that.
And what?
Well, the letter of appointment, I will not be able to say, because when I looked at it, it had the State House logo, and I wasn't immediately in a position to compare with other similar letter-headed paper. Everything was done in accordance with the practice in the office, and out of the 88 ministries that were approved, we are really surprised that we were unable to detect the PEAC and PFICP had actually given us a false Establishment Act, and now you have proved a false letter of appointment. So we take all responsibility, and we will definitely see that we review our processes to make them more fraud-proof.
Nigerian police.
The committee then turned attention to the representative of the Inspector General of Police to explain the absence of the controversial Director General of the Council, Mr. Adeniyi Adeyemi, at the sitting, despite an earlier directive to produce him before the lawmakers.
The suspect being held in custody based on a subsisting warrant for him to be detained. And as it is so, in order for us to be able to continue to relate well, we are of the opinion that the Honorable Committee Chairman, as well as the committee members, could or avail us a reproduction warrant, sir, for us to be able to produce him.
Following the submission, members of the committee adjourn proceedings until next week as the committee continues to review evidence and question key stakeholders regarding the budgetary allocation to the controversial council. Benny Ark, Channels Television News.
Away from the House of Representatives now to security, where the federal government today arraigned 2 senior commanders of the Ansaru terrorist group alongside 3 alleged associates before the Federal High Court in Abuja over terrorism, kidnapping, and the murder of 2 teachers in Orire local government area of Oyo State. The 5 suspects were brought before Justice Salim Ibrahim, who adjourned the case until September the 24th for the commencement of trial and ordered that they remain in the custody of the DSS, the Department of State Services. The 2 alleged commanders, Abubakar Abba Mahmouda, also known as Abu Bara, and Abubakar Abbas, also known as Malam Mahmouda al-Nigeri, were arrested by DSS operatives in August 2025. During a recent operation that led to the rescue of victims abducted in Orire, the DSS also arrested 3 additional suspects believed to be members of the Ansaru terrorist network. The fresh charges come just a week after Abu Bara and al-Nigeri were sentenced to life in prison by a federal high court in Abuja after pleading guilty to some counts in a 32-count terrorism charge, including membership of a terrorist organization. Despite the life sentences, the DSS had initiated fresh prosecutions against the 2 commanders and their 3 alleged accomplices over their alleged roles in the Orire kidnapping and the killing of the 2 teachers. Reports indicate the agency was dissatisfied with the earlier judgment and is considering an appeal. In Kaduna, residents of Naridon village in Kauru local government area are appealing to the federal government to strengthen security in their community following a deadly attack that claimed over 30 lives and the destruction of property worth millions of naira. Community leaders and residents want the federal government to establish a permanent security presence in the area, increase military patrols, and ensure that those responsible for the attack are apprehended and prosecuted.
Grief and devastation envelope Naridan village in Kauru local government area of Kaduna State after armed attackers stormed the community late Sunday night, killing at least 30 residents, including women and children, and setting several houses ablaze. According to the villagers, the gunmen opened fire indiscriminately, forcing many to flee through farmland and into nearby bushes in search of safety.
When they enter, they begin to kill, shoot our doors, shoot everywhere, then scatter this house. Almost 8 people were then killed. Now only 2 people remain for this house. So we don't know how to do, but we try to call soldier from main road to come and excuse us. Then they didn't come.
We escaped to the farm where we had gunshots and took refuge in a neighboring village. The following morning, when we returned, we found the bodies of our loved ones who were unable to escape. There were so many bodies that I couldn't count them. They broke into our shops, looted our goods, and then set both the shops and our houses on fire. 6 people are currently receiving treatment in the hospital.
Despite surviving the attack, Joseph Marcus and Danladi Rana suffered heavy personal losses after several members of their families were killed.
I was sleeping with my family when we suddenly heard gunshots. Before we could escape, they surrounded our house and killed my family. The attackers operated for a long time. I am helpless now, but I leave everything in God's hands. I believe He will avenge for me. We were inside the house when the gunmen arrived. We all ran to hide. About 8 people entered one room. After the attackers left, we came outside and found bodies lying everywhere. We were shocked and didn't know what to do. We have left everything in God's hands.
Following Sunday's attack, community leaders met with representatives of security agencies to discuss lasting solutions to the recurring violence along the Kauru Plateau border. The authorities are asking residents of the area to remain calm as security efforts continue. Meanwhile, the General Officer commanding one division of the Nigerian Army, Major General Abubakar Wase, and the GOC 3 Division, Major General Maxwell Dangana, who is the commander of Operation Enduring Peace, visited the village to assess the security situation and sympathize with the residents.
The Sultan of Sokoto and the Minister of Livestock Development, Mr. Idi Meha, are advocating the urgent need for responsible pastoralism, such that it will help to address rising tension between herders and farmers, as well as their host communities. Both the Sultan and the Minister, who spoke at the National Conference of the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association in Abuja, also condemned ethnic profiling of herdsmen, insisting that criminal responsibility must be individual and not ethnic or profession-based.
The Sultan of Sokoto and the Minister of Livestock Development are the special guest of honor as members of the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association holds their national conference in Abuja. The conference provides an opportunity for the association to voice their concerns and seek solutions for challenges affecting their trade.
Insecurity remains our greatest concern. Across many parts of the country, cattle rustling, kidnapping, banditry, and other criminal activities have claimed innocent lives. Displaced families are resulted in loss of thousands of livestock. At the same time, many farming communities have suffered similar tragedies. This reminds us that insecurity is a national challenge that requires a united national response.
In his remarks, the Minister of Livestock Development outlines plans to address cattle rustling and other challenges facing the sector.
Today, moving with large herds of cattle all over the country is no longer safe. It is conflict-ridden, and most of all, the exposure is too much to violence, banditry, and intercommunal crisis. In the not too distant future, all four-legged animals will carry ear tag and microchip for geolocation and proof of ownership. No animal will be transported to any livestock market, abattoir, or slaughter slab without an ear tag or for proof of ownership. This is the only way we can frustrate and stop animal rustling.
The gathering also expressed concerns about what it describes as ethnic profiling of criminals.
We mean no harm for anybody. All those evil people carrying out so many atrocities, do not label them as Fulani herdsmen. All them criminals who are abducting people, kidnapping, terrorism, and whatever. We are ready 100% to work with him and other security agencies, flush out criminals from our airplanes, and we are well-being.
Members attending this conference are hoping that the resolutions will go a long way to address the challenges that confront herders in the country.
In part two, after the break, INEC Chairman Professor Josh Amokwiton says the Commission is ready for the Osun governorship election after completing assessments across 30 local government areas under electoral guidelines. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television, broadcasting from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Head of the Civil Service, Didi Walson-Jack, accepts responsibility for failing to properly verify documents linked to the controversial Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council. Sultan of Sokoto and Livestock Minister urge responsible pastoralism, reject ethnic profiling of herders, and demand individual accountability to ease farmer-herder tensions. Amnesty alleges Shell documents expose Niger Delta pollution risks and costly cleanup concerns, while Shell insists it operates with integrity, transparency, and respect for communities. And President Trump threatens retaliation after U.S. military intercepts alleged Iranian attack on American forces, ending a brief period of calm in the Middle East. For decades, crude oil exploration in the Niger Delta region has been marked by tensions between host communities and oil companies, with repeated oil spills leaving lasting environmental and economic damage. Now, Amnesty International is accusing Shell plc of failing to adequately address pollution and the impact of its operations on affected communities, alleging years of environmental neglect and exploitation. However, Shell plc rejects the allegations, insisting it operates responsibly and in line with industry standards while maintaining its commitment to environmental stewardship and host communities.
Fresh questions are emerging over Shell's legacy operations in Nigeria after newly disclosed internal company documents allege decades of neglected infrastructure, weak environmental safeguards, and massive cleanup liabilities in the Niger Delta. A report by Amnesty International and several civil society organizations claim that Shell continues operating aging pipelines despite known risks. Amnesty describes one key pipeline as a basket and estimates decommissioning costs of about $10.9 billion. The documents also raise concerns over missing oil wells, weak spill detection systems, and classification of oil spills that could affect compensation for impacted communities. According to Amnesty International, these documents cut through years of denial and raise grave questions about what Shell knew, what it allowed to continue, and whether it sought to walk away from the cost of its toxic legacy. The real scandal is Shell's pursuit of profit at the expense of people's rights. Also, Shell must stop hiding behind divestment, disclose the truth, and fund cleanup and ensure affected communities receive justice. On its side, Shell rejects the allegations, insisting it operates with integrity and that the report does not reflect the challenging conditions in the Niger Delta. Shell responds, "The characterization and portrayal of Shell is not one we recognize. Shell is committed to honesty, integrity, and respect for people, and to conducting business in an ethical and transparent manner." The revelations are renewing calls for greater regulatory oversight, environmental accountability, and justice for communities affected by decades of oil pollution.
Chairman of Nigeria's Electoral Umpire INEC, Professor Josh Amokpiton, says the commission is fully prepared to conduct the governorship election in Osun State, as it has completed a comprehensive readiness assessment across all the 30 local government areas in compliance with the Electoral Act 2026 and the commission's guidelines. The INEC chairman made this disclosure while addressing a stakeholders meeting on the election in Osogbo, the Osun State capital.
Stakeholders in the Osun governorship elections have gathered at the state headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Osogbo for a crucial pre-election meeting convened by the commission. In attendance are INEC officials led by the chairman, Professor Josh Amokpiton, representatives of political parties participating in the election, security agencies, civil society organizations, and members of the media.
As we approach the Osun elections,
addressing the gathering, the INEC chairman reaffirms the commission's readiness to conduct a credible, free, and fair election, while disclosing that all logistical, administrative, and operational arrangements have been put in place.
Following the comprehensive readiness audit across our 30 local government areas of the state, I am here to assure you that the Commission is logistically, technologically, and operationally prepared to deliver an election that fully satisfies the standard of the Electoral Act 2026 and our published election regulations and guidelines. We will deliver a credible election result upon an unassailable voters register.
The resident electoral commissioner for Osun State, Oluwatoyin Babalala, provides further insight into the commission's operational preparations for the poll.
All beavers required for the election are fully charged, configured, and tested. We have a total of 3,763 beavers which will be deployed for the election, while we also have 1,328 beavers as backup.
Also speaking, the INEC National Commissioner supervising Ogun, Ondo, and Osun States, Professor Kunle Ajayi, asked political parties, their supporters, and other stakeholders to ensure the elections conducted in a peaceful atmosphere.
The people of Osun State, like all citizens, deserve an election that reflects their will, free from undue influence, violence, and malpractice. The stakes are high, as this election will not only determine the leadership of this vibrant state, but also serve as a compass of our collective ability to conduct peaceful, free, fair, credible, inclusive, and conclusive elections.
To enable more eligible voters to participate in the election, INEC says the collection of permanent voter cards has been extended until Friday, July 31st, 2026. In a related development, a group of protesters, mostly women, staged a peaceful demonstration at the INEC office while the stakeholders' meeting was in progress, calling for a credible election devoid of violence, rigging, and vote trading.
Meanwhile, the Osun State Police Command has arrested the Secretary to the State Government, Mr. Teslim Igbalaye, along with 5 other persons who are allegedly being involved in what the command described as vote merchandising ahead of the August 15th governorship poll in Osun State. Meanwhile, the spokesperson of the Mole Campaign Council, Mr. Kwelumi Olajengbesi, is demanding the immediate redeployment of the Osun State Police Commissioner for allegedly spearheading the unlawful arrest and detention of Accord Party members.
In the last 2-3 days, over 86 people, members of our court party, has been arrested for no reasons. These people are arrested and brought by road to Abuja, and they have been detained here unnecessarily. We have met with the leadership of the police, and they cannot provide any explanation to us. There is no petition against them. These people have committed no offense. The Nigerian police today is compromised. The Commissioner of Police in Osun State is completely compromised. There's a need for us to have a free, impartial election, an election where people can freely express their will. Today, having visited our people in detention, we discovered that 36 has been taken to Kefi, 14 has been taken to Kuje for no reason, for no single offense committed. This must not continue. Just now, I have just been informed that the SSG of Osun State has been arrested for no reason, because he was sensitizing his people about election. The Commissioner of Police in Osun State wakes up in the morning, move from town to arrest people for no reason. All he needed is to confirm that these people are members of Accord and these people are supporting Governor Ademola Adeleke. A chief in Esauke was arrested day before yesterday, midnight, around 1:30 a.m. We met with the officers here and they said we should go back to the Commissioner of Police in Osun State and that these people are just being kept here, it is the command that arrested them. Why will the command arrest people in Osun State and bring them to Abuja for no reason?
Still ahead on the news at 10, Customs begins implementing new fiscal policy measures and tariff amendments to boost trade and revenue generation. That's in business news. Join us again. Welcome back. The police have confirmed the killing of 2 bandits allegedly involved in the attack on Afe Ogboju community in Otukpo local government area in Benue State on Tuesday, where 15 residents were killed and several others injured. Now, the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Cletus Nwadiogbu, disclosed this to journalists during his operational visit to the community following a manhunt launched by the police to find the perpetrators.
The Benue State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Cletus Nwadiogbu, is in Afe Ogboju community in Otukpo local government area of the state, following an attack that led to the death of 15 residents on Tuesday, July 28, 2026. The attack left several homes razed and foodstuffs destroyed. Residents of the community are yet to come to terms with a violent conflict that claimed the lives of their loved ones as they narrate their losses during the attack.
They killed 13 people, but that's only 3. Many were injured. Yes, they carry plenty cattle. Since I'm not the owner of the cattle, I don't know the number, but there are very many. People were sleeping and they carry the cow outside. Anybody where they see it, don't shoot. Beings carry the cow. They shoot everywhere. Our only summit to run our highs for our last 16. I thank God that they don't kill anybody. Only my property. See my house full of beans, bags, my sugar's good. Every. They destroy everything burned down. Yes, many people die. They kill them. Plenty of our village here. Many people, uncountable, sir. They have to take action about this thing. I have nothing to do. Only government I'm crying for now is to help.
The police commissioner assures members of the community of their safety as he ordered operatives to maintain the trail on the bandits while confirming the death of 2 of the bandits during an exchange of gun battle with operatives.
I got information that there was an attack in Afe, so we had to immediately mobilize and move in. On getting there, we discovered that it was cattle rustling. They rustled
many cows in the village, and in the process, as they are proceeding in the bush, anybody they encounter, they would eliminate. They were eliminating, and they ended up eliminating. As so far, about 13 corpses were recovered in the bush. Unless as they progress, if we had more, but as we combed the bush, the 13 corpses were what we recovered. As we progressed, we met a group we feel may be ambushing us. They opened fire on us. Maybe they wanted to prevent us from getting to those who are moving the cows. They opened fire, and there was exchange of gunfire. And to God be the glory, 2 of them were eliminated, and they were able to get 1 rifle from them.
He further assures residents that the fleeing bandits will be arrested and brought to book, urging them to remain vigilant and furnish the police verifiable information to tackle violent crimes.
Right, let's get more news from the nation's capital, and Millicent Walker is standing by to give us the latest from our Abuja studios. Hello, Millicent.
Hi, Tunde. Always good to see you. Well, how can Africa build economic resilience? The Director General of the World Trade Organization, WTO, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has some propositions calling for more investment in artificial intelligence, improved mineral supply chain, and investments in renewable energy. The WTO boss, who was speaking at the 7th Africa Emerging Markets Forum, notes that while Africa is experiencing an economic rebound, the pace of growth remains fragile.
Policymakers, investors, and business leaders are meeting to chart a new path for Africa. With global growth projected at 2.9% in 2026 and borrowing costs at their highest in 15 years, Africa's emerging markets are under pressure. The Director General of the World Trade Organization believes Africa can do better.
Reforming the multilateral trading system and broadening the global economic base are deeply complementary. To attract the kind of investments we've been talking about, developing countries will need to improve their business climate, upgrade hard and soft infrastructure, and provide a stable macroeconomic environment.
Next to speak is the central bank governor. He acknowledges the heightened economic tension in the global market, but speaks to how the bank is addressing it.
Nigeria's recent experience demonstrates how an emerging market economy can respond to these shifts. Over the past 3 years, we made difficult but necessary policy decisions to restore stability, rebuild confidence, and strengthen the economy's capacity to withstand shocks.
After their speeches, they sit for a chat. Both the WTO boss and the central bank governor speak to how Africa and indeed Nigeria can leverage on its young population, the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, and green energy potential to attract investment despite global headwinds.
We should be thinking our trade with the external world, not just the US, on things that are non-oil, is improving, but could do so much better. We need to expand the sources of growth in the economy. We need to expand the sources of trade. We need to add value to our products, and we need to trade more. We have a lot of trade agreements that Nigeria can take advantage of.
Creating opportunities for younger people, ensuring that you had a more open, transparent, good, clean governance that would be able to put on right policies and be able to save an economy from collapse.
The 7th Africa Emerging Markets Forum is underway at a time the global economy is facing multiple shocks, from inflation to supply chain disruptions and tighter financing. But experts at this forum say this is the precise moment for Africa to turn challenges into opportunities by mobilizing investment, boosting trade, and strengthening resilience. Sarah Achimugu, Channels Television News.
Well, in continuation of the ongoing infrastructure projects in the FCT, the Minister, Nyesom Wike, has stated that the commencement of political campaigns ahead of the 2027 general elections will not distract his administration. Speaking while inspecting some ongoing road projects in Gwarimpa and Tunga Madaki area of the nation's capital, Mr. Wike stressed that governance and politics would not conflict under his watch, maintaining that the visible transformation across the FCT had already become the strongest campaign message for President Bola Tinubu's administration.
Material Road N16 and to Ring Road 3. They have been carried out by CBC Global. We've seen the work on that road is very critical. The CBC has said that they can complete that job by January. And I'll be so impressed if that is done. And on our own part, we're going to make sure that funding is made. That road is very, very critical. How is campaign? This is campaign. In fact, the major campaign is to provide the dividend of democracy. What are you going to talk to the people when you have nothing to show? So for me, campaign is show what you have done. All we have to do is to come back to tell them we have made this promise to you. We have kept the promise. And you can see the happiness in people. It is not going to affect us at all, whether Rivers or in FCT. The Tinubu administration has made promise, and he has kept to those his words. So for me, that is campaign. And I don't believe in coming to talk rhetorics. It's a President show your report card. And I think this administration, as far as FCT is concerned, have been able to show their report card. And they have no problem winning the election in the index as it is.
Well, that's it from the nation's capital. Will Ibong is next with the business news.
Thank you, Millicent. And the Nigeria Customs Service has begun implementing the federal government's 2026 fiscal policy measures and tariff amendments following approval by President Bola Tinubu. The changes are designed to support local industry, facilitate trade, boost revenue, and align Nigeria's tariff regime with ECOWAS standards. They include revised import taxes, import and export prohibition lists, excise duties, and a green tax on vehicles with engine capacity of 2,000 cubic meters and above. Customs is urging traders to comply with the new rules. Nigeria's outstanding consumer credit has declined to 3.8 trillion naira, marking its first contraction in 6 years, and that's according to latest industry data. The decline reflects weaker household spending amid tight monetary conditions, elevated interest rates, and cautious lending by financial institutions. Analysts say the slowdown in consumer credits could weigh on household spending while signaling changing borrowing patterns across the economy. Now, the U.S. Federal Reserve outside our shores has kept benchmark interest rates unchanged as it balances inflation risk against a resilient economy. The decision comes amid higher oil and gasoline prices fueled by Middle East tensions, raising concerns about renewed inflationary pressures. The Fed says it will continue to monitor economic data before making any further policy moves. And with that, we're checking with our domestic equities market, which reversed gains we saw yesterday as investors continue to take profit. Laddie Williams has more to tell us.
Well, hello, welcome to the Stock Market Report. Well, it seems like this week it's been a ping-pong movement, starting off Monday in the red, then green on Tuesday. Then for the midweek trade, we're back in the red, 0.41% lower, 246,000 points. Still maintained at this point. Let's look at the tier 1 banks. There's a lot of profit taking right there. With First Holdco, 5.98% is the biggest drop there, and it's had the biggest move so far with the tier 1 banks at this point. UBA 1.17% lower. GTCO also down. No one is spared today. Looking at the tier 1 banks, then they're 1.65% drop. But let's flip over now to the sectors that we track. That drop dragged the banking counter down 1.37%. Consumer goods That's about 7 basis points down. But the loan gainer today, that's the insurance counter, looking really good. 2.46% gain today. Could be because it's about 2 days to the recapitalization deadline, and we're seeing investors feasting on this one.
Thank you, Laddie. Will the party for insurance be over soon? We'll wait and find out. But let's see the closing numbers for other major stock markets around the world. And that's business news. I am Will Ibong. Is back to Ayo for more on the news at 10.
Thank you, Will. U.S. President Donald Trump pledged to forcefully respond to Iran's attempted attack on U.S. military positions, saying it was, quote, our turn in the ongoing attacks that briefly went quiet as he sought a diplomatic off-ramp. Well, here's Simon Hughes with more international news and around the world in 5 from our London studios.
Good evening and welcome to the Channel studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Japan's southwest Kyushu region has had more than 100 aftershocks since it was struck yesterday by a magnitude 6.8 earthquake, which left at least 13 people dead. With the scale of the disaster, it's feared that number will soon rise rapidly. Amid searing heat, rescue crews are digging through the rubble at a paper factory and a shopping mall in Kumamoto Prefecture looking for trapped survivors. Here, dashcam footage of the moment the earthquake struck. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has warned it is a race against time to rescue those trapped. The Japanese Meteorological Agency is urging residents to be alert for more strong earthquakes. The US has responded to a surprise attack by Iran on its forces in the Middle East hours after Donald Trump hosted Benjamin Netanyahu in Washington. US Central Command wrote at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time today, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps forces launched multiple ballistic missiles from Iran in an attempted surprise attack on US forces based in the Middle East. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he had a good meeting with Donald Trump at the White House on Tuesday as the pair discussed licensing Ukraine to produce its own Patriot interceptor missiles and ways to revive stalled peace talks with Russia. Meanwhile, on social media, Zelensky published this footage, calling it more long-range sanctions on Russia. Meanwhile, Russia has charged Telegram's founder, Pavel Durov, with facilitating terrorism over allegations the messaging app had been used for recruitment by Ukrainian secret services. An international arrest warrant has been issued for the Russian-born Durov, who lives abroad. Shortly after the charge was announced, Telegram's account on X posted an image showing Durov holding up his middle finger. Telegram is popular in Russia and is used by tens of millions of people, although authorities have been restricting access as part of a wider crackdown on internet freedom. The app is also popular in Ukraine. Jay Clayton has been confirmed as the next U.S. Director of National Intelligence after President Donald Trump's original choice was rejected by lawmakers. The U.S. Senate voted 51-47 to install Clayton. He had been serving as a U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, overseeing several prominent cases, including the drug trafficking case against the former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro.
Good morning, everyone.
The UK's new Prime Minister, Andy Burnham, has given a speech on adult social care in England, pledging to lift up workers through pay and training. Talking about the care given to his father, who has Alzheimer's, the Prime Minister said carers should be the best paid people in society, not the worst. On funding reforms, he said more could be done with existing resources and difficult decisions would have to be taken.
I've just been really, overwhelmed by their care, the skill in what they do, the professionalism. It really is incredible, and it's humbling to watch them caring for someone else's dad or someone else's mum. If you think about that, bringing all of that to the care of someone else's relative. It's just an incredible thing, isn't it? That, to me, they should be the best paid people in society, not the worst.
The Trump administration has announced a ban on new foreign-made humanoid robot imports to the US over unacceptable risks to America's national security. The move applies to advanced robots, including humanoid and four-legged machines, many of them which are made in China, which is competing with the US to develop robotics and artificial intelligence. The Federal Communications Commission also banned imports of power inverters, devices used in data centers and solar panels, which it said could also pose a risk to the US economy. The Chinese embassy in Washington said Beijing had long opposed the US politicizing of trade issues and sanctions based on groundless pretexts. And President Trump has announced online that he is bringing this heroic young lifeguard to the White House to award him with the nation's highest civilian honor. 16-year-old Ryder risked his own life to save a 10-year-old boy who was swept into massive waves at Seabright Beach in Santa Cruz in California, refusing to let go despite being repeatedly pulled beneath the surf. Witnesses say the dramatic rescue lasted several minutes, with another lifeguard eventually helping bring the child back to safety.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel studios in Lagos.
Many thanks, Simon. Welcome to Sports News. Goodness Nwachukwu has produced the performance of a lifetime to win gold for Team Nigeria in the women's F42 discus throw at the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. Nwachukwu saved her best for last, launching the discus out to 39.66 meters to smash her own world record by more than 3 meters and secure the Commonwealth title. Her victory is Nigeria's 7th gold medal of the Games and another powerful statement. Another Nigerian, Destiny Agbo, finished in 5th place. FIFA President John Infantino has said that the proposed launch of a private subsidiary to exploit the commercial benefits of the World Cup as an opportunity but not an obligation. On Tuesday, Mr. Infantino wrote to all member associations that they will each receive $40 million if they back a plan to sell stakes in major competitions, but they must sign up by September the 19th. The proposal sparked disbelief and outrage globally since it was revealed but Mr. Infantino defended the idea, saying too little of football's commercial value reached the parts of the game that needed the most. And Super Eagles forward Tolu Arokodare has completed a loan move to Dutch giants AFC Ajax Amsterdam from English side Wolverhampton Wanderers. Ajax secured an option to make the move permanent for 18 million euros. Under the terms of the agreement, the former European champions will shoulder the player's entire wage package. Ajax technical director Jordi Cruyff said he's pleased to have the 25-year-old join the club. Brazil forward Neymar says his international career has come to an end, confirming he no longer plans to play for the national team, the Seleção, after Brazil's round of 16 exit from this year's FIFA World Cup. Now, Neymar was included in the World Cup squad almost 3 years after he last played for the national team and played only 37 minutes across 2 games. The 34-year-old remains under contract with Santos, fighting to avoid relegation until the end of the year. Service, Mrs. Didi Walson-Jack accepted responsibility for failing to properly verify documents linked to the controversial Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council, PFIPC. And the Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar, along with the Livestock Minister Idi Meha, urged responsible pastoralism, rejected the ethnic profiling of herders, and called for individual accountability to ease farmer-herder tensions. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. You have a good night.